restart it. Hold on, because it didn't go. Hold on a second.
York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
Yep. What's going on? This is JLS from Nick of Time Show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. Here to talk about the Knicks versus Bulls matchup coming up on Wednesday. And it's kind of like a playoff style matchup. We play each other on Wednesday, then play each other again on Friday. And as you know, we here are Knicks fans. And although we are basketball fans, who better to break down their own team than other content creators in that space? So I invited to the pod today my man Haize, host of Bulls Central Pod and Locked on Bulls. Shout out to my guy Haize. Haize, how you doing today, man?
I'm living, bro. I'm living. I'm still trying to get over that loss from last night, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, that was a woof.
That was an emotional roller coaster.
That was a very Nick-like loss. Like that looked like something that would have happened to us. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Thanks.
It was like, man, seconds to go. What, he tipped it with 0.5 seconds left, turning it around with some ballerina crazy. That was nuts. That was nuts. But yo, let's get into it. Like before I even get into the matchup, I just wanted to talk to you about a little bit of news. It's been in the news. Woj. It's not even exactly a Woj bomb. It's kind of like a Woj firecracker. Woj announced that the Knicks are monitoring the Bulls because, you know, at this time, trade season is about to come up. And the Knicks have kind of been eyeing Zach Lavine for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to get a Bulls fan's perspective on what's up with Zach Lavine this year. How do fans view him? Are you guys feeling like, you know what, we can right the ship with Zach Lavine here? Or you feel like it's a time to move on from Zach Lavine?
No, it's not time to move on from Zach Lavine. You know, I call them sky is falling Bulls fans because no matter what, they just find something to pick on. You know, I understand that Zach Lavine this summer signed the largest contract in Chicago Bulls history. And I think fans, rightfully so to a degree, expected Zach to take his game up a level from that. And, you know, he had offseason knee surgery. He hasn't quite been what we expected or needed this season. But he is putting together quietly one of his best defensive seasons if you look at all the analytics. But his shot just has not been falling well at all. Now, you know, he's shown flashes of that, of getting back to being the Zach Lavine of old. But Zach Lavine, if you look at this season when he had his first knee surgery and then came back, he only played 24 games that season, and his numbers then compared to now after another offseason knee surgery, they're very similar. So I just think Zach is just slow to come back from knee surgery. Hopefully it doesn't last the whole season, but you know, I'm not of the mindset, and I think more rational Bulls fans aren't of the mindset of trade Zach Lavine. But I do think your team, the Knicks, may be kicking themselves for not going in on Donovan Mitchell. I think that's what it is, and that's why you hear that rumor about them being interested in Zach.
It's funny, like we're kind of split. The Knicks fans are split on that. One side feels like Danny Ainge was trying to just get everything, the women, the children, the cheerleaders, the GM for him, and then it's like, wow, we're gonna give all this for him and we'll have nothing left. Other fans are like, we missed out. So it's kind of split the fan base. Me, I feel like Danny Ainge was just trying to get us. Like, I was like, cool, we have Mitchell here, and then he's gonna be looking around like, you know, Fresh Prince. You know that scene when Fresh Prince is in the room and it's empty, and he's like, where is everybody? He's like, I got nobody to play with because we traded it. So I'm not super like down about it. I'm down that he wasn't here, but after figuring out what they wanted, I'm not losing sleep about it, and I'm just hoping that the Knicks make a move for a star eventually that actually makes, you know, sense. We're not overpaying, but we're actually paying market value. That's how I see it.
I feel it.
Do you have any like concerns with Zach Lavine's knee? Because when we talk to Knicks fans is like, nah, don't. I'm like, yo, Zach Lavine, he's a beast, 27 points, young kid, and they're like, nah, the knees, I don't trust it.
Here's the thing. I think people forget that Zach Lavine had the one major knee surgery, and then after that, he became a more efficient player every season after that, to the point to where he was one of the most efficient players in the league 2 seasons ago. Then he tweaked the knee again. So I get it. Like, there's always going to be concern when it's a knee that is going to be re-aggravated, but let's not act like Zach Lavine had knee issues every single season. He had the one major knee surgery, and he came back from that a more athletic player than what he had before the first knee surgery. Now, it's slow this time. I do think he's going to come back again. It just may take some time, but no, I don't have any long-term concerns about me. I just don't.
Yeah, that's with us with Mitchell Robinson. Like, he had one season when he was out. He was out like 5 games today, and he was like, "Oh, trade Mitchell. He's injury prone." I'm like, dude played 72 games last season. Like, chill out, guys. For sure. And now Mitchell's back with a vengeance. All right, blah, blah. Yo, thank you for your insight. I'm hoping, my bias in this, I'm hoping that the Bulls have troubles and we get like Zach Lavine a little bit later. That's just me. I know you don't like that, but would you take anybody on the Knicks squad for Zach Lavine?
No, I'm just telling you, no. I mean, honestly, here's the thing. If the Bulls just got to the point where they just said, all right, we gonna move Zach, and let's say it was a package built to, bro, I really can't put together a deal that I would love, bro. I love Isaiah Hartenstein as a player. Like, I really love him as a player, but that doesn't get you far in that. I'm
Yo,
hey, I got you. Would you take Tony Bradley for him? Can we do that?
Tony Bradley for Isaiah Hartenstein. Listen, I'm not gonna hold you. You know what? Give us a first rounder for Isaiah Hartenstein and Tony, and we call that a deal.
That's tough, man. Especially when we don't have no first round picks. We ain't gonna be able to work that out, brother.
Give us a first, and I'll take Tony. I'll take Tony the Tiger all day. We got Sims here. This is a Sims hive on Knicks Nation, who's a third stringer, and people feel like he's outperforming Hartenstein on defensive end. So so listen, man, you can take Hartenstein. We'll be all right. All right, yo, let's get to this matchup now that we talked about the fun trade stuff. First of all, overall, right? Mm-hmm. I know you guys are missing Lonzo Ball, and that's probably has a lot to do why your offensive rating has fallen to 20th at this point. And shoot, even your defensive rating, I mean, it's actually 7th. Defense rating has been pretty 7th. Good. Yeah. So I guess more offensively has been affecting. But okay, I guess for your opinion, what do you think is contributing to this slow start of the Bulls this season?
It's a couple of things. Lonzo Ball absolutely plays a part in it. If you look at the on-off, how better of a defender Zach Lavine was with Lonzo Ball, and that's because Lonzo was a great communicator on defense. He's one of the highest basketball IQ players that we have on the Chicago Bulls. So missing that has done detriment to the Bulls defense for sure. I'm not one of the Bulls fans of those that think everything hinges on Lonzo Ball being in or out. I do think he does make a lot of things easier for a lot of players, but I'm looking at this like the Bulls are running a 2005 style offense in 2022. That's the thing. Our offense is completely predictable. And when you have 2 ball dominant players in Zach Lavine and DeMar DeRozan, but then the players that don't have the ball don't move without the ball. I can't tell you how many times I'm yelling at my screen for Ayo and Patrick Williams to move without the ball, and then just watching DeMar go to work. Like, it drives me crazy, bro. Like, literally drives me crazy. That's why you see the offense looks better when Javonte's in there, because Javonte does move without the ball. So it's the style of offense we run. It's the fact that we're predictable. Even though we're 7th in defensive rating, we don't keep up the defense. We're in the first half, we're 28th in the first quarter and 29th in the second quarter as far as defensive rating, but we're 2nd in the third and fourth quarters. That's why we don't play 4 quarters of defense. If we play the games that we have played 4 quarters of defense, we typically win those games. So that is an aspect of it. Zach Lavine killed me in overtime last night. Sometimes Zach Lavine's basketball IQ, especially in crunch time, is just terrible. I even as a Bulls fan, I can admit that. And it's just it's pieces of this team are good pieces individually. We're still trying to figure out how to fit them together. And while we run this stagnant offense, it's just never going to come together. Like it's so many times that Vooch is cooking. He gets it going in the first half, and then he gets 2 touches the whole second half. So it's things like that. It's a little bit of coaching, a little bit on the players, and then defense. It plays a huge part in that. Even though we're 7th, it's kind of inflated because we don't play defense in the first half consistently, and that really hurts the Bulls. That's why they get out to these deficits, and then they expound so much energy to come back. And we usually do come back in the third quarter, but then we don't have the energy to seal the game. So.
That makes a lot of sense to me. This is going to be an interesting matchup because on the flip side for the Knicks, the first halves are where we shine. For these games, I think we're like the top teams in first half offense. We've hit like 70 points one time with 65 points. The first and second quarter is usually when we start to get it going. Randall specifically, I don't know, for the first quarters, he's been going off. Last quarter, he had like a 17-point first quarter. And we're just rolling. And then all of a sudden, that third quarter of doom. The Knicks have this thing called the third quarter of doom. We've had it for like years, and it's continued to this year. Started to have it yesterday. We snapped out of it, but if there's a place for you to get us, it would be probably the third quarter. But it's gonna be interesting to see because this might be like the worst third quarter in NBA history.
That's gonna be funny to see, man. I'm gonna throw a question to you if I can.
Go ahead.
How much longer do you think Tibbs is in New York? Like, because we've had to deal with it. I feel like Tibbs has a 5 to 6 year stretch, and then at that point everybody's burnt out on Tibbs. How much longer do you see Tibbs in New York?
Well, we thought we were close getting rid of Tibbs after the Mavs game because the Mavs just destroyed us. He was still going with his old man river friend in Derrick Rose, and they was exploiting Derrick Rose on the defensive end, and he wasn't making adjustments. You know, Tibbs be tibbing. That's what we say here, Tibbs be tibbing. Which means here that he doesn't change. He keeps rolling out the same thing, but something might have happened, and I don't know if it's because the players are afraid that he's going to get fired and they start to actually play harder on defense, or like the competition we've been playing, they've been missing key players, or maybe a combination of both. But we've been playing pretty well ever since the Dallas game, and it might have woke us up because since then our defensive rating has kind of been taking huge jumps. Like right now we're 11th in defensive rating. We were not 11th like last week. I think last week we were like 20 something, and now we jumped in to 11th. And it's, I think, first we've had Grimes and we've had Mitchell Robinson here. Grimes just got back, and his perimeter defense has been freaking amazing. And we just stick him on the best offensive player on the other side, and he's made a world of difference. Mitchell Robinson's back, that's helped too. But the main issue has been Brunson, Randall, and Barrett haven't really pulled their weight defensively. But these last 5 games, it just looks like something is clicked. Now, it hasn't been perfect, but it's been night and day for these last 5 games. So I'm really curious to see how we match up with you guys to see if that trend continues. But also there's like a wrinkle because Jalen Brunson got injured yesterday, and he's a big cog for us. So who's starting in his spot is going to be a mystery. Like, I don't know if it's going to be the return of Derrick Rose, or we have a guy here named Deuce McBride who's a bench player, but like a ball hawk defensively. I can see Tibbs starting him just to keep Emmanuel quickly on the bench running the offense, because tomorrow is going to be a toss up. So to answer your question, Tibbs looks like he's here to stay for another year or two.
Okay, that's fair. Hey, the Tibbs burnout be real though, and the players feel it, the fans feel it. It feels like he feels it at some point. Tibbs burnout is real.
The Tibbs burnout is real. And I think the front office might have saved them last year. I think that's what it, because the front office just started trading vets. They were just like, go. Yeah. You can't lean on Taj Gibson no more. He's going to the Wizards. Yeah. And I think they were forcing him behind the scenes to play guys like Cam Reddish, who's out the rotation right now, and other young guys. So I think the front office is behind the scene forcing his hand, because this is the amount of young guys that are playing right now is un-Tibbs like. Mm-hmm. And it's starting to work for us a little bit on the defensive end. So hopefully that trend continues.
For sure.
Good question. I have a question about your young point guard who I keep mispronouncing his name. Like, how has he been since Lonzo's been out?
Ayo Dosunmu is a mixed bag, man. I love him. I love Ayo Dosunmu. I love when he is pushing the pace, how he looks as a point guard. But this season, he hasn't had quite the defensive edge that he had last season. That's what really got him into the rotation early last season. Like, he's fine defensively, but it hasn't quite been the same level of defense. And he did a lot of adding weight to his body and stuff in the offseason, and it seemed like he was poised to really be this defensive beast this season, and it hasn't quite translated. And then there are times, too, where you can tell he's not confident in his shot. But overall, I think Ayo does a good job. Keep in mind, the way Billy Donovan uses the point guards, he doesn't use them as actual point guards. So it turns Ayo into a spot-up shooter at times. So it's really kind of hard to judge how much he's grown as a point guard, because that's just not how Billy Donovan uses the point guard in this on this roster. So, but I'm still overall very favorable on Ayo. He's a free agent at the end of this season, so he's about to get his money. I just would like to see Billy Donovan empower him a little bit more by putting the ball in his hands more, for sure.
Yeah, well, you guys might have caught a break, because Brunson is a beast, although he's been banged up, so his numbers haven't been as good. But Brunson versus Ayo, Brunson was probably going to give him a hard night. But y'all might catch a break and get Deuce McBride or Emmanuel Quickly as a starting point guard tomorrow.
I mean, we could be down Ayo Dosunmu and Alex Cruz, so we could be starting Kobe White at point guard. So I feel you. It could be a very interesting point guard night, is what to say the least.
Oh, so. wait, Kobe White at point guard? Wait,
bro.
What?
Like, listen. So Alex Caruso's been out. He missed the last 2 games. No, he went out 2 games ago, and then he missed last game. He stayed in Chicago when we traveled. So it's up in the air with Alex Caruso. And then Ayo, I don't know if you saw it or not. They said it was an abdominal injury, but no, that man got hit in his nuts. He got a knee right to the nuts last night. So we don't know if he's going to be playing. So.
And I mean, I've been hit there before. So usually you can jump a few times. The next day you're good, or even a few hours. So I don't think it'll take him out for like the day, but
you got to see the play. It went from a layup. He literally was up in the air. He was high in the air and came down right on low budget DeBarge, Trae Young's knee right in the nuts.
Oh, Trae Young. So, yeah. He fell on Lollipop Head. That's crazy.
Yeah. He fell on low budget DeBarge, bro.
Low budget DeBarge. That's crazy. Did you get a foul? I hope he got a foul.
Oh man, yeah. No, it wasn't a foul either, because it was clean. I mean, he was just laying on the floor. It just was a weird landing, man.
That sucks. So who's really running the offense for you guys? Is DeMar DeRozan?
It's DeMar DeRozan.
What? Okay. You look like you have disgust written all over your face. It's funny. Go ahead.
It's just it's with DeMar. Like, don't get me wrong. In the fourth quarter, he saved the Bulls so many times. And it's not all him, right? Like I said, sometimes the players just watch him cook and they don't move without the ball. And it's hard for DeMar if you let the defense set and you're not moving without the ball, DeMar can't pass you the ball because the defense is set. They're gonna intercept the pass. But DeMar has been this season defensively, on a player that's already bad defensively. He's putting together his worst defensive season of his career, and it's been killing the Bulls. His off-ball, me and you right now doing this podcast has played as much defense as DeMar did the last 2 games.
That was us with RJ. This man, people were pissed at RJ when RJ getting mentioned as the worst defender than Randall this season. You know, it's crazy, but it's been RJ this year. That's crazy. And it's funny too, because Knicks fans was so pissed that we didn't get DeMar DeRozan because of what happened last year.
Yeah.
So pissed. But I kind of felt like he was a better fit with you guys because you had more shooting around him. So you can afford to have a guy who can operate in that, mid-range zone. Our team is all mid-range guys. Like, we don't need 12 mid-range guys on the floor at the same time. Like, space the floor, bro. Like, let's switch it up. Okay, but DeMar is still there. Zach Lavine is coming back into form. All right, cool. Off the bench. Wait, you know what? I'll say this before your center. To me, this is the matchup that's kind of interesting. Because Mitchell Robinson is touch and go with stretch fives. And this guy is a real stretch five. So, but do you guys passing the ball, though? Because I kind of heard that y'all don't passing the ball, so maybe we're dodging a bullet.
Bro, as many... If I got $1 for every time Nikola Vucevic had a smaller player on him, and it seems like the Bulls just don't notice it and pass him the ball, I'd be a millionaire. Like, real talk. We can retire from this podcast game. I'd be somewhere chilling up with my feet up, bro, in pajamas. They need to do a better job at recognizing, but some of that also is Vooch, and that he's not aggressive in calling the ball enough. But I will say this: every time we need a clutch basket, Vooch hits it pretty much. He's been one of the most clutch basket getters for us in crunch time for a while now. So in this type of matchup, when you are gonna, he is gonna be going up against Mitchell Robinson, and we have Andre Drummond there. I expect him to have his usual 18 and 11, but it's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be tough.
Yeah, even the Randall Patrick Williams matchup, I'm curious about because I haven't been watching this year, but I know he's a pretty good defender. I feel like when we matched up before, he was giving Randall a little bit of problems. And once again, if Brunson is here and is able to set the table for Randall a few times to get him some easy buckets to get him going, I wouldn't be as worried. But Brunson not being here has me a little bit worried. So I don't know. What's Patrick Williams looking like this year?
Patrick Williams is shooting the ball well when he shoots it. I think he's still close to 50% overall from the field and like 42% from three-point range. He just doesn't take many shots. And defensively, Patrick Williams is finally starting to realize how to use his length and size to his advantage. The reason why he got moved to the bench there for a game is because he just wasn't aggressive offensively. But the matchup of Randall and Patrick Williams, I think it was one game before Patrick Williams got hurt. I think when we were playing you guys, I think Patrick Williams is going to fare pretty good in that matchup, but I'm not expecting much offense from him, but I think defensively he's going to be pretty sound against Randall.
Yeah, he's pretty. I mean,
solid. Randall also only goes left, so.
The funny thing is, he'll like the beginning of the games, Randall will hit you with a couple of threes, and if those threes hit, then you might be in for a long night, because then he'll hit you with the up fake and drive, and you don't want to see Randall going downhill. But Randall low-key, Langho's been on a 30-point streak for like the last 4 or 5 games. He would have hit 30 yesterday if he didn't get ejected. Bruh. But that's another story. That's another story. And then we have Zach Lavine versus RJ Barrett. I'm giving that edge to Zach. I don't know. What do you
probably
think?
Give it to Zach too in this one, but hey, listen, they're gonna make a lot of. They both gonna be taking a lot of shots early in the shot clock. That's all I can say with that.
Yo, Barrett's kind of been like the third option this year with Brunson and Randall doing it, and then Barrett will get going with the second unit if anything. But that's what it's been. And you know what? I'm gonna wrap it out. I know it's almost time to go. I just want to ask you, the bench. I'm gonna ask you, what's the bench looking like for you guys? And is there a surprise? Usually there's like some bench scorer who can come off the bench and surprise you. Like, who do you think is that bench scorer for you guys?
Man, it's been Derrick Jones Jr. surprisingly lately. He's been just having an impact, not necessarily just scoring, but just making smart plays defensively, offensively, getting out in transition, tipping the ball. But I mean, in this game, I think this is going to be a game where Andre Drummond has to show up big for us. Last night, he had 5 steals with 14 points and 9 rebounds, I think, in only 16 minutes. I'm looking for Andre Drummond to come in, play with a lot of energy, keep that defensive pressure up. And I think it's going to be Drummond and DJJ, Derrick Jones Jr., who's going to have the biggest nights off the bench for the Bulls.
Yo, man, I'm so you. I know you guys. You were interested in Hartenstein before. Hartenstein has been struggling with like the really strong centers or the really tall centers. I'm a little nervous about Hartenstein versus Drummond. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like I almost want to like flip flop. I almost want to start Sims, which is our third string center. I almost want to start Sims for this game, or even Hartenstein, and then have Mitch play Drummond because Drummond is just big for no reason. He just bullies people, and Mitch can kind of handle that a lot better than anybody else on our team. So Tibbs, pay attention and adjust accordingly. But we already know Tibbs be tipping, so I don't know about adjusting.
Hey man, it's gonna be funny to see Billy Donovan and Tibbs in this game and their coaching and lack of adjustments because they just come in and they just like, hey man, this is what we're gonna do all night. Yeah, but the other team isn't doing what we expect. We're gonna run it anyway. That's what they say. We're gonna run it anyway.
Man. Old school versus old school. And as far as guys off the bench for us, it might be IQ. Obi Toppin is injured. He hasn't been really shooting the three like that, so I don't think he's been that explosive, but he's been getting to the hole a lot more and trying to set up his teammates a lot. But he's been touch and go with his field goal percentage. But I'm kind of liking the defense from him is good. Is going to be good as always. Miles McBride as well. The defense for him is going to be good. But like I said, with the point guard situation being what it is, I'm wondering what this rotation is going to be like. I'm really curious. Really curious.
I feel the same way you do when it comes to if Caruso and Io are both out, which I doubt both of them are going to be out. But if they are, that point guard rotation is going to be interesting to see, to say the least.
Man, you and me both, man. I can't wait. This is going to be an interesting game to watch. It's fun. I feel like y'all might be a matchup problem for us because of the Brunson thing. I'm not like, even though you guys, statistically aren't that good because you're like, what's your record? Like you're like 3 games under 500 and we're 1 game over, I think.
Yeah. We're 11 and 15 right now.
Yeah. So. I feel like the matchup might be strange for us. Hopefully we figure it out, but I don't know. We'll see what's gonna happen, yo. But salute to you, Haize. Thanks for coming in. Bro. You got the New York gunshots for you. That's a welcome thing. You don't have to duck. All right.
Definitely. Hey, next time send me a dollar slice when we do this, bro. You got to send me a dollar slice when we do this, man. I miss New York dollar slice.
Send you the dollar slice. You can send me a square Chicago pizza where you can break some bread.
Fair enough.
Oh man. So yo, definitely check out Haize. He runs like 600 podcasts.
Yeah.
So check him out. He's on Locked On Bulls. And he's also on Bull Central Pod. So shout out to Haize. So let them know where they can find you, Haize.
Yeah, you can follow me on any social media platform at CEO Haize, at CEO Haize. If you want to look for my podcast, I do Chicago Bull Central, Chicago Bear Central, Locked On Bulls, NBA Central. I'm missing one. I know I'm missing one. Charges to my mind, not my heart. I do too many podcasts as it is.
Yeesh. This is a job. You will not grow up.
Fair enough.
That's what's up. So go follow that man. And as you already know to follow us on the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram and Facebook. Get those snapbacks, KOT snapbacks on knickoftimeshow.com. And also shout out to FubuTV.com. If you want to watch MSG for free for 7 days, go to FubuTV.com/KOT and you will get MSG free for 7 days. And if you decide to purchase it, we get a little cut. You help us out and you help yourself out with some NBA channels and other channels like Martin, Fresh Prince, or whatever the heck you want to watch. All right. So shout out to Fubu TV. All right. That is our show, Haize. And we have a tradition here. And here it is. That's our show. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That's our show. We are out of here. Peace. All right.
York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.